We are getting ready to do some adding, subtracting fractions on scratch paper. So I need you to label your paper right now. And if you use multiple sheets of paper today, I want them all labeled adding and subtracting fractions Tuesday, October 20th. Because it was not very easy for Miss Bridges last week to figure out what scratch work went with what. So we need to get better at labeling our scratch work. So we're going to do 5 problems together, and then you're going to do about 10 problems on your own. So we're going to start. Is going to be 2/3 plus 1/2. Now remember, you took these notes yesterday on how to add fractions. The next step is to find the least common denominator. We find a T-chart with our denominators 2 and 3. We skip count by 2s, 2, 6, 8. We skip count by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12. The smallest one in both lists is a 6. So 6 is our common denominator. Put down our 6, put down our 6. We go crazy and talk to ourselves and we say, hey self, how did you get to 6 from 3? And your self is going to say, well self, I multiplied 3 by 2 to get to 6. And if we did it to the bottom, we're also going to do it to the top. So 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're going to go crazy again and we're going to talk to ourselves and we're going to say, hey self, what did you do to 2 to get to 6? And our self is going to say, I multiplied by 3, self. And if I did it to the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to add my numerators, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put it over my common denominator, 7, 6. Now today, you took notes on improper fractions. This is an improper fraction. And the way that we convert an improper fraction to a mixed number is we put the top in the box. Put the top. 7 divided by 6 is 1, remainder 1. Our numerator is 1. Our denominator stays the same. So 1 and 1/6 is our final answer. Make sure you wrote that down. Number 2, 1/3 minus 1/4. We have to find a common denominator. We're going to make a T-chart with 3 and 4, our denominators. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, look. 12's in both. 12 is our common denominator, so we're going to write a 12 for both denominators. 12. What did you do to 3 to get to 12? And our self's going to say, well, self, I multiplied by 4. And if I did it to the bottom, 1 times 4 is 4. I'm going to go crazy again and I'm going to talk to myself. Hey, self, what did you do to 4? I multiplied by 3. And if I did it to the bottom, do it to the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. This is a fraction problem, so I'm going to subtract 4, take away 3 is 1. And I put it over my denominator. I cannot convert it. I cannot simplify it. 1/12 is my answer. Number 3 is 1/2 plus 3. I need a common denominator, so I make a T-chart. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5, 10. 10 is the smallest number in both lists. 10 is my new denominator. I'm going to go crazy and I'm self. What did you do to 2 to get to 10? And your self is going to say, I multiplied by 5, self. And at the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. 1 times 5 is 5. I'm going to go crazy again and I'm going to talk to myself. Hey, self, what did you do to 5 to get to 10? I multiplied by 2, self. And if I did it to the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to add my numerators. 5 plus 6 is 11. My denominator stays the same. I notice that the big numbers on top, that makes this an improper fraction, so I have to put the top in the box. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Put the top in the box. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I get 1 side, my whole number is 1. My remainder is 1. My denominator stays the same. Minus 1/4 minus. I'm going to make a T-chart with my denominator so I can find the least common denominator. 6, 12, 18, 20, nope. 1, 2, 3, 24, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 8, 12. Oh, look! 12 is the smallest one in both lists. So my common denominator is 12. I'm going to write my 12s down. I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to talk to myself. Hey, self, what did you do to 6 to get to 12? Well, self, you multiplied by 2. And if you did it to the bottom, you're going to do it to the top. 5 times 2 is 10. You're going to go crazy again and you're going to talk to yourself. Hey, self, what did you do to 4 to get to 12? Well, self, I multiplied by 3. And if I did it to the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. It's a subtraction problem. 10 take away 3 is 7. My denominator stays the same. It's not improper, so I can't convert it to a mixed number. I can't simplify it. It's already simplified. Moving on to number 5. (3/4) plus 5/6. Now, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. I just did a problem with 4 and 6 as denominators on number 4 right here. I don't need to find a common denominator again. I just found it a second ago. My common denominator is 12. So I'm going to write down my 12. I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to talk to myself. Hey, self, what'd you do to 4 to get to 12? Well, self, you multiplied by 3. And if you do it to the bottom, you're going to do it to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. Hey, self again. What'd you do to 6 to get to 12? Well, self, you multiplied by 2. And if you did it to the bottom, you're going to do it to the top. And 5 times 2 is 10. You're going to add, because this is an addition problem. 9 plus 10 is 19. Your denominator stays a 12. I noticed that this is an improper fraction, so we're going to put the top in the box. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Put the top in the box. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I get a 1 remainder 7. 1 is my whole number. 7 is my numerator. And my denominator stays the same. Now I said we were only going to do 5 problems, but we're going to go ahead and do 6. So we have 3 addition ones and 3 subtraction ones we've done. So our last one is going to be 3/4 minus 3/8 minus. We're going to find a common denominator. Oops, denominator. 4 and 8. 4, 8. Oh, looky there. My common denominator is 8. Write down your common denominator. Hey, self, what'd you do to 4 to get to 8? Well, self, you multiplied by 2. And if you do it to the bottom, you do it to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. Hey, self, what'd you do to 8 to get to 8? Well, self, I multiplied by 1. And if I do it to the bottom, I do it to the top. And 3 times 1 is 3. Now I'm going to subtract, because this is a subtraction problem. 6 minus 3 is 3. My denominator stays an 8. I do not need to simplify, and it is not an improper fraction, so I cannot convert it to a mixed number. We did 6 problems. You're going to have some to do on your own. I'm going to write them down on paper. You're going to write them down on your paper and work them out by yourself. Number 7 is going to be 3/4 plus 2/3. Number 8 is going to be 2/3 minus 1/2. Number 9 is going to be 2/3 plus 3/7. Number 10 is going to be 3/4 minus 2/7. Number 11 is going to be 3/4 plus 1/3. Number 12 is going to be 5/6 minus 1/3. Number 13 is going to be 1/3 plus 3/5. Number 14 is going to be 5/6 minus 1/4. And number 15 is going to be 2/3 plus 5/6. You need to pause the video and write those down. You need to pause the video and work those out. I will show you the answers. I am not going to show you all the work. You need to show me all the work on how to get that answer. If you don't get that answer, then you need to work it out again until you do get that answer. So here are the answers. Some of them had to be converted to mixed numbers, like number 7, 9, 11. Number 12 had to be simplified. If you got 3/6, you should have simplified 3/6 to 1/2, because 3 divided by 3 is 1 and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Number 15 was probably the hardest one, because you had an improper fraction that you had to first convert to a mixed number, 1 and 3/6. Then you had to simplify 3/6. The 1 stayed the same, but the 3/6 simplified to 1/2. So I gave you a little bit more to go on number 12 and 15, since they involve some simplifying. And that's the hardest skill, the hardest part of fractions. So if you got one wrong, you need to go work it out again. Don't just change your answer. Work it out again until you get it correct. If you have questions, you don't understand something, email me.